Hi friends, thanks so much for being here. In today's video, we'll be unboxing the Once Upon a Book Club box with the theme Through Thick and Thin. And because I've already read the book, this will be a review and an unboxing. I have some thoughts about this box. Let's take our first look into this box. Per usual, the book club kit and quote card and bookmark is on top. Beneath that, the book by Christina and Piazza, and beneath that, 3 gifts. I'm always curious to hear other people's opinions, so if you have read this book or received this box, let me know in the comments. We are first going to talk about this book, and after that, we're going to open the gifts. But before I do, I want to say thank you to my patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for helping me out, and if you feel like it is something for you, come join us. Head over to patreon.com, type in my name, or click on the link in my description. Let's talk about the book, shall we? We Are Not Like Them. So this is written by 2 authors. So same as the authors, one black, one white, we follow 2 women in this book, one black, one white, and they are close friends. Riley is a black woman and she reports for the news. She wants to become a news anchor, and she and Jen have been friends for ages, from childhood. And nowadays they have lived farther apart, so they have seen less of each other, but they are trying to reconnect. So they meet up somewhere, they talk, they laugh, Jen is pregnant, so all this fun stuff, and then Jen gets a call. And it turns out her husband, who is a police officer, has shot a black kid. And this kid was innocent. He didn't do anything, he didn't even match the description of the perpetrator that they were following. So of course this has a huge effect on everyone, including her best friend Riley, who has to report this for the news. So she feels torn between her identity, her heritage, and her best friend, the injustice of it all. And of course, Jen feels torn as well between her husband, her best friend, the injustice of it all. So it's this story about 2 women going through the same events, just from different perspectives and experiences, and them trying to remain best friends during these times. Definitely a powerful story about race, friendship, justice. So when I read this and when I saw the cover and the title and the fact that these are 2 female authors, I was really excited to read this book. Then I started reading it and I felt a little bit disappointed. Let me start with the positive things. It's written from 2 points of views. So Jen and Riley, which is really interesting. And it's also something the authors talk about. In the back of the book, there's a conversation with Christine and Piazza. We wanted our characters to be real and not just representative. So we also spent a long time talking about who they were, what motivated them, what scared them, what they loved, what they hated. It was important to us that each character earned and deserved both sympathy and frustration in equal measure. Our hope is that the reader will say, I can see why she did or thought that. All the while, all through the ups and downs, we wanted the reader to be able to root for not just the 2 characters, but most important, the friendship itself. And I think that really came through because I did feel sympathy for both Riley and Jen, a little bit more for Riley at times, but also for Jen, because I can imagine that it's really hard to be pregnant and have a husband that might go to jail, and your husband telling you, I'm not racist, I followed an order, I followed my colleague. In hindsight, of course, you can talk about it and you can think about it while reading this book, but in the moment when you have so much stress, that's really, really hard. I like the writing style. It was easy and fast-paced. So even though we followed this one event, it still felt like a lot of things were happening. It did grip my attention. However, some parts didn't. And here's the negative thing about this book. It felt too much like a list of talking points, and the authors kind of wrote the story around them. So all the important hot topics nowadays get a few pages in this book. At times that made it felt like a real book club book. And I get that this is the Once Upon a Book Club box, but still. And I think if you want to think critically about these things, then it's better to read other books like Me and White Supremacy. I still thought it was a good book, and I understand the importance of this, So that's why I still gave it 3.5 stars. That was the book review. Let's take a look at the gifts. As you saw at the beginning, there are 3 gifts. I've just opened the first one. So we're going to open the other 2 together. How it works is that you come across a post-it that says open your gift. You look at the page number and then you go to your box and you get the corresponding gift. The first one can be found on page 116. This part is about Riley, who is visiting Tamara, and Tamara is the mother of the black boy that got shot, and he is called Justin. Tamara prepares herself with a deep breath and then opens the door. She walks a few feet into the room, plops down on the bed. It's covered with a pilly plate comforter. She grabs a pillow, holds it to her face. I keep coming in here and smelling his pillow. How long do you think it'll keep smelling like him? We won't ever wash it. Wes leans in and takes a whiff. And Wes is another family member. I take in the room, half-finished models of dusty dinosaurs perch on the shelves. An iconic and apparently timeless poster of Tupac hangs above the bed. A trombone case leans against it, and a tattered paperback of Mice and Men lies face down on a desk next to a small tank with one lone goldfish swimming in lazy circles. Loose socks are scattered around the floor. It already feels like a shrine. This is the corresponding gift. It comes in this box with 4 women on it. And when we open it up, there is a pillowcase inside, and a little card reads Justin's pillowcase. And this is how that looks. When I'm holding it up now, it looks a little bit like a tea towel, but trust me, it looks good. There's this light greenish color to it, but because of the lighting in here, you can probably not see that, with black stripes. We've gotten some pillowcases from Once Upon a Book Club before, and I have used them all so far. The material in this one feels different though. The previous ones were really soft. This is more rough. I do prefer them to be soft, so for me, this comes down to the design. And this one does match my other pillows, and I'm probably gonna replace this one. I think this was another one from Once Upon a Book Club. I lost a few of the little balls, so I decided to throw this one away, and I can replace it with this one. All right, there was another little thing in the book. So when there's talk about Jen, who's pregnant, she's going for an ultrasound, there was this in the book. I like that they take the effort to put this in because it enhances your reading experience even more. And they get bonus points for the fact that it says Male Murphy in the top left corner because their family name is Murphy. It takes a while before you get to the next post-it because that one is not until chapter 16. In this part, we read a letter that Kevin wants to send to Tamara, the mom of the boy that was shot. This could be seen as a spoiler, so if you still want to read the book, you might want to skip this part. Dear Tamara, I don't know if you'll read this letter, and maybe it's selfish or wrong for me to reach out to you, but I had to try. There's nothing I can do to take away your pain, but I want you to know how badly I feel for your loss, how I think about your son every single day, how I will regret what I did for the rest of my life. I have a son now too. His name is Chase, and he's 6 weeks old today. Becoming a father has changed me, made me a better man. I think about this little person all the time. I'll do anything I can to keep him safe, to protect him. I'd die for him, and I don't know what I would do if anyone ever took him away from me. I can't make excuses for what happened in those 5 seconds, but I want to own up to what I did. You deserve that. You deserve your son back. I wish I could give that to you, but I can't. One day I'll have to tell my own boy what I did. The corresponding gift is this bag, and the page number is right here. Let's open it up. I can see some fake flowers. Oh, look at that. I think this might be a replica of the letter. It is. I kind of wish I opened this while reading. As far as I can tell, it is the exact same letter signed by Kevin Murphy, and his handwriting is described in the book, and this is exactly how I imagined it. And it came with these flowers and a little blue vase. I really like this color, especially this combination. I don't know if this was described in the book. I do remember that the letter was put on a little table, and I believe it had flowers on it. The flowers themselves are a little bit squashed, and some of them are falling apart. so I'm not entirely sure if I can still use these, but I am definitely going to use this. And then the final post-it can be found on page 307. This is pretty much the end of the book, and this is a scene between Riley and Jen. Well, I have something else for you too, actually. Hang on, it's in my bag. You already got me the Lexus of strollers. You have to stop. Jenny calls out as I run into the foyer, return with the dark final jewelry box. Are you proposing? If so, the answer is yes. I'll be your sister wife. Can I get on your health insurance? But Jenny's laughter catches in her throat as she opens the box. Inside is the delicate bracelet of pearls and the note from Gigi. And Gigi is Riley's grandmother, and Jen grew up with her as well. Jenny's lips move as he reads Gigi's last words to her, words I have already read dozens of times. She slides the string of iridescent beads over her still swollen fingers and onto her wrist. I never want to take it off. I'm pretty sure we can all guess what the gift is. It comes in this velvet red box with a yellow ribbon, and I'm gonna be honest here, so far I'm not always a fan of the jewelry from Once Upon a Book Club. Sometimes it does look and feel a little bit cheap, but I'm expecting more from this one because we only got 3 gifts in total. So either they spent all their budget on the book because it's a hardcover, or this is going to be one hell of a bracelet. Let's find out. Oh, it's going to fall out. There it is. Oh, it is really pretty. This does look like a good bracelet that I can actually wear and will wear probably. And on the inside of the box, it says Gigi's 18K gold plated fresh water pearls. And it comes with a little note. I don't believe this is described in the book. So this is like an extra letter. My little firecracker. If you're reading this now, it means that I have passed on. But you don't worry about me. I'm with Jesus now, and he welcomed me to the promised land with open arms. I know it. Praise him. You worry about you hear? You always did have a soft heart, feisty as ever, and boy did you run your mouth. But I always liked your pluck. You are strong, and that's where you have to be in this world. I don't have much to leave behind, but these pearls meant a lot to me. And knowing you since you was a little girl meant a lot to me. I wanted you to have them, to remember me by, and to connect you always to our Leroya. That's the birth name of Riley. She thinks she don't need nobody, but she needs you. And you need her. Y'all be good to each other, because after strength, what we need in this world is our peoples. Love you, Jenny girl. That's really heartwarming. I love getting little things like this. At the bottom it says that this letter was written by the authors. And this is a pretty amazing bracelet. The pearls look good. They have this iridescent shine to them. Oh, and that's really smart. It's one size fits all, but you can adjust it to your size by pulling this part. I'm impressed. I really like this. I'm glad that this is a good piece of jewelry. And I love the presentation of it. Next to the gifts, we always get a bookmark, the quote card. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to talk about something. All that matters is that you try. I think it was Gigi that said this to Riley. It's a really strong quote. And then of course the book club kid. Inside is a conversation with Christine Pride and Joe Piazza. I believe this is the same conversation as you will find in the back of the book. And then there's the discussion, questions, and the read along dates. And then there's also Gigi's miracle bread recipe. This is mentioned quite a lot in the book, and it sounds really, really yummy. It doesn't look that hard. There's just 3 ingredients, so I'll be able to pull that off. I always get intimidated when recipes have a lot of ingredients or a lot of steps. That's just not for me. Overall thoughts on this box. It was good, not great. First of all, the book was okay. I do really appreciate that we got a hardcover. I would love to see that we get more hardcovers instead of paperbacks. It was signed by the authors. And it was fun to read and interesting and thought-provoking, but for me personally it felt like a lot of talking points and then a story written around them. The gifts were good. We got 3 gifts this time. There wasn't anything that really blew me away. I mean, when you look at the value of the box and the value of the items, I think this is probably the most valuable item, and that is also going to be my favorite because this is actually a good piece of jewelry and I'm definitely going to wear this. And even though pearls are not my thing, I do like this bracelet. And what I really liked in this box are all the little things that they added. For me, that's what really enhances a reading experience, little replicas. As always, let me know your opinion on this box. What did you think? And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and let's stay in touch.